Major Mohammed Ali Shah, bring you into the conversation. This disturbing trend that has emerged now in India in the past few days, where a day before yesterday we had political parties in Kashmir, PDP and NC, their leaders announcing that they will suspend their campaign, not simply because they feel for the people of Palestine, because they feel for the people of Gaza, where yes, many innocent lives have been lost, but specifically a Mehbooba Mufti calling Hassan Nasrallah a martyr. And yesterday we see 10,000 people in Lucknow protesting in support. Firstly, how many of these people do you feel even understand what they're doing? And at the same time, how do we now counter this very troubling narrative that is emerging? Because I say narrative because this has only happened really, I would say, in India. I've been reading online posts of influencers, of analysts, political analysts, other types of journalists from Yemen, from Lebanon, from Syria, from Jordan, all of them stating that they have breathed somewhere a sigh of relief over the fact that this man, Hassan Nasrallah, has been eliminated. However, in India, in Lucknow, we see 10,000 people protesting for him. Where do you think this troubling trend is emerging from, and how do we now need to counter it? That's the main question. How do we counter and educate people? I'm not saying stop their protests or stop their right to protest, because I know then the conversation goes in an entirely different direction. How do we strike that balance?
Right, Devika, as you very well said, that how many of them actually understand it? I doubt it. I mean, the same people who are protesting, if you ask them 5 things about Hassan Nasrallah, they would not be knowing. They would not be knowing that he was born in 1960. They would not be knowing that he went to Iraq, where Saddam Hussein had carried out a movement where he was expelling all Shia from Iraq. So he had to leave Iraq. How many of them would be knowing that he went to Iran for his theological studies? People don't know. People don't know when he joined the political organization. It was a political organization as well in 1982. In fact, how many of them would be knowing in 1992, in fact, when the chief of Hezbollah, Abbas al-Musawi, was killed in an airstrike again by the Israeli Defense Forces. That's the time he took over. They would not be knowing. And how many attacks Hezbollah would have carried out, they would not be knowing. So, firstly, I would urge people to please maintain calm, think with a cool mind, and not interfere, not meddle with affairs that do not concern them. The nation should come first, always and every time. It's the nation first. Now, the very fact is, what are they trying to prove? It is indeed distressing to see people protesting, and by protesting, what will they achieve? What will you gain? It's just, I don't understand. Rather, on the contrary, I would rather, I don't mind, forget about Bangladesh. That's a too far-fetched thing. Let me see people raise voice on Manipur, for that matter. Let these same people come forward and say that, very few people will be knowing that the Indian ambassador to Lebanon is from Manipur. They are Indian army contingent as part of the UN peacekeeping force. Like we send UN peacekeeping forces to Congo, to Sudan, to Lebanon. So they are Indian army contingents, which they are soldiers of all castes, because in the army there's no caste. They are only one religion, right? They are Kukis and they are Maites, they are Nagas. How beautiful this is! They are working shoulder to shoulder to get world peace. I would rather appreciate that they would have spoken on that. But by a destructive protest, by a protest, no. Okay, everyone has every right to protest, but this kind of protest, people do not understand much. And let me just tell you, as the way they say, history repeats itself. The previous Hezbollah commander, Abbas Musawi, also was killed in an Israeli airstrike. In 1985, there was Beirut car bombings. That time, Hezbollah leader Mohammed Hussein Fadullah, he was targeted. The assassination attempt had failed at that time. On 28 July 1989, Israeli commandos, they had kidnapped Sheikh Abdul Ahmed Karim Obeid, the leader of Hezbollah at that time also. But the action led to adoption of UN Security Council Resolution 638, which condemned all hostages taken by the side. on 16th February 1992. That's the time when
Okay.
Abbas al-Musawi, his wife, son, and 4 others who were there was an airstrike. On 31st March 1995, Rida Yassin, who is also known as Abu Ali,
Yes.
was killed in a single. Yes, and rather, I would just like to make a slight mention over here about our Indian soldiers who are there in peacekeeping force in Lebanon. They are nursing staff, military nurse service, and they're from all over India. But again, the
Okay.
most beautiful thing is we are talking about Manipur. We have Kukis, Maitir, and Nagas working shoulder to shoulder in Lebanon for world peace and humanity.
Okay, Major Shah, from a security point of view, the fact that there are just people who can come up with thousands of people on the street overnight, does that not require some inspection into who these people really are?
Right, Devika, I urge the people who are protesting to please calm down. No, don't go ahead with the protest because it doesn't concern us. It doesn't concern our nation. Our nation should come first, always and every time. Now, my Shia friends would think that because I'm actually a Sunni Muslim, that's why I'm saying this. No, it is not about that. It's about the very fact that I'm an Indian before I'm a Muslim. And it's not about Shia Sunni. It's not about the religious thing. One should see that it doesn't affect us at all. It doesn't concern us. We should have our loyalties towards our nation, which we all should focus over here. That's why I said initially, I would have rather appreciated in case if they all would. It's not about Kuki or Maite, but Manipur overall as a state, which has contributed a great deal towards nation building, and now it's contributing towards world peace and humanity in Lebanon over there as well. So the very fact is, if one raises a voice against matters which concern us, yes. Otherwise, it's called totally with one word. That's Begani Shadi mein Abdullah Diwana.
Abdullah Diwana, exactly.
Okay.